All right, Eagles Nation, buckle up because we've got a lot to dive into today. The Birds are in an interesting spot right now, sitting tied for second place in the NFC with Tampa Bay, and just a small step behind the Green Bay Packers, who have been flying high so far this season. And you know what's funny? Coming right off the bye week, the Eagles are going to face those same Packers. So, even if Green Bay wins again this week, Philly still has a golden opportunity to take control of the conference if they can pull off a statement win after the break. It's one of those perfect setups that could define the rest of the year, one of those moments where preparation meets opportunity. And speaking of the bye week, this couldn't have come at a better time. The first half of the season has been full of ups and downs, injuries, flashes of dominance, and moments where you could tell this team was still figuring some things out. Now, they get a chance to breathe. A week to step back, heal up, and focus on self-scouting. Figuring out what's really working, what's holding them back, and how to sharpen things up before the playoff race heats up. This part of the schedule is where the contenders separate themselves from the rest. You can feel that energy building in Philly, and you know the team feels it too. Nick Sirianni actually spoke about this on Monday, and you could tell how seriously he takes it. He said this stretch is all about staying locked in, identifying both weaknesses and strengths, and using the time wisely. It's not just about physical recovery, it's about the mental reset. For players, that means taking care of their bodies, sure, but it also means taking a moment to refocus mentally, prepare for the grind ahead, and come back sharper than ever. Sirianni talked about how much they've benefited from these weeks in the past, how it's given the team a boost and helped them build momentum down the stretch. And honestly, the results speak for themselves. Since Sirianni took over, the Eagles are undefeated after a bye week. Every single time, they've come back looking more organized, more confident, and more dangerous. Last season was the perfect example. Remember when their bye came early in Week 5? That break ended up being the turning point of their whole campaign. From that moment on, they just looked different, more disciplined, more efficient, more complete. That reset was the spark that helped carry them all the way to the Super Bowl. And even earlier this year, it was that mini bye after the Thursday night loss to the Giants that turned things around again. You could see the adjustments. You could feel the difference. That's why this upcoming bye week feels like such a big deal. It's not just another week off. It's a week to reload and build on what's finally starting to click. And what's clicking right now is the run game. The Eagles finally got that ground attack going again, and it was a beautiful thing to watch. Against the Giants, they exploded for an unbelievable 277 rushing yards, their best rushing performance of the season by far. That kind of dominance doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of a team that's been grinding to fix what wasn't working, and finally, everything came together. The offensive line looked like a completely different unit, the kind of physical, punishing front that Philly fans are used to seeing. They were firing off the ball, hitting their assignments, and just bullying New York's defense all afternoon. A huge part of that success came from play calling too. Kevin Patullo opened up the playbook and showed some real creativity. The offense mixed up their looks, used a lot more motion, and got unpredictable in the best way possible. You could see the difference immediately. There were more pin-and-pull runs, more toss plays, more misdirection, and the Giants just couldn't keep up. The blocking schemes were sharp, the timing was perfect, and the backs were hitting the holes with confidence. When you watch the film, you can see just how much more rhythm this offense had. Everything was clicking in sync. And you know what's crazy? This isn't even the peak. It feels like the Eagles are just starting to find that balance between the run and the pass, where everything complements each other. That's been the identity of this team at its best. A balanced, unpredictable offense that keeps defenses guessing. When Philly can pound the rock like that, it opens up everything else. The play action, the quick passes, the deep shots. It's all connected. That's why this bye week is so important. Not just to rest, but to build on that chemistry, fine-tune the timing, and make sure that kind of performance becomes the norm instead of the exception. The team knows it too. Sirianni said it himself. They've been close all year. You could see flashes of what this offense could be, but they hadn't quite put it all together. Now that they finally have, it's about staying consistent. They understand that there will still be ups and downs. That's just the reality of an NFL season, but the direction they're trending in is exactly where they want to be. You can tell by the way they talk about it, by the way they practice, by the way they've started to click in key moments. This team believes in what they're building. And honestly, How could you not be excited after what we just saw? The offensive line was monstrous. The creativity in the play design was refreshing, and the execution from the backs was elite. You look at how Tank Bigsby stepped up, and you can't help but get hyped. That guy looked explosive, breaking tackles, creating big plays, and running with real purpose. When you have a back like that complementing a star like Saquon Barkley, it just adds another layer to what the offense can do. Defenses can't key in on one guy. They can't predict what's coming next. And that's when the Eagles are at their most dangerous. So yeah, this bye week comes at the perfect moment. The team's banged up, sure, but they're also trending up. They've figured out some key issues, rediscovered their identity, and now get a week to rest and refocus before one of the most important games of the season against Green Bay. And the best part is, history says this team knows exactly what to do with a week like this. Every time they've come out of a bye under Sirianni, they've looked sharper, faster, and more confident. That's not a coincidence. That's coaching, preparation, and a locker room that believes in the system. If the Eagles can carry that same energy from the Giants game, keep the offensive creativity flowing, and get a little healthier over the next week, there's no reason they can't come out of the bye swinging. The schedule is only going to get tougher from here, but that's what this team was built for. This is the stretch that defines contenders, and the Eagles have every chance to prove that they're still one of the elite teams in football. The bye week isn't just rest time. It's the reset that could set the tone for the rest of the season. Now, let's talk about what really turned heads this past week. That incredible running performance, and one player in particular who absolutely deserves the spotlight. Tank Bigsby. The rookie has been steadily gaining confidence, but what he did against the Giants was on another level. Over 100 rushing yards, averaging more than 11 per carry, and here's the wildest stat of them all. Almost 9 yards after contact per run. That's the kind of stat that makes defensive coordinators lose sleep. He was breaking tackles, shedding defenders, and turning simple plays into highlight reels. You could feel his energy every time he touched the ball, and it's the kind of breakout game that can completely change the dynamic of an offense. What makes Bigsby's performance even more impressive is how seamlessly he fits into the Eagles' offensive philosophy. He's not just running hard, he's running smart. His vision, his patience, the way he reads blocks, it's advanced stuff for a young back. And when you pair that with his explosiveness, you've got a serious problem for defenses. The Eagles' coaching staff knew he had that burst when they brought him in, but seeing it translate to game day like this proves he's ready for a bigger role. It gives them something they haven't had in a while, that 1-2 punch behind Saquon Barkley that keeps defenses guessing and keeps the offense fresh deep into games. And speaking of Barkley, let's clear the air on his situation. There was that scare in the Giants game when he left in the third quarter with what looked like a groin issue, and fans everywhere held their breath. But thankfully, the latest word is that it's nothing serious. Barkley himself said after the game that he's fine, and reports since have backed that up. All signs point to him being ready to go right after the bye week. That's a huge relief, because when you combine Barkley's power and versatility with Bigsby's burst and change of pace, it makes the Eagles' backfield one of the most dangerous in the league. It's not just about the numbers, it's about how they complement each other. Barkley can wear down defenses with his physicality, and then Bigsby comes in and just blows past tired defenders. It's the perfect storm. Now, on top of all that offensive momentum, there's another layer to the story, the return of some key players after the bye. Most notably, star receiver A.J. Brown. There's no official timeline on his hamstring injury just yet, but everything suggests that he should be back when the Eagles face Green Bay. And man, does this team need him. Even with the offense clicking, Brown's presence takes everything to another level. His ability to stretch the field, his chemistry with Jalen Hurts, his toughness, it changes how defenses have to play them. But of course, lately, it hasn't been just about football with A.J. Brown. There's been drama, social media posts, deleted tweets, rumors about frustration, and whispers about potential tension between him and Jalen Hurts. Some fans are worried, others are rolling their eyes. But here's the truth. Nobody outside that locker room really knows what's going on. The noise around it has been loud, but inside the building, from everything Nick Sirianni has said, things are normal. He downplayed the situation completely, saying that communication with AJ has been great and that it's business as usual. And honestly, that's the only thing that matters. Whatever happened a few weeks ago is in the rearview mirror. Look, it's the NFL. Players get emotional. They want the ball, they want to contribute, and sometimes that passion spills over. But that same fire is part of what makes A.J. Brown special. He's a competitor to the core. As long as it doesn't cross the line into becoming a distraction, and right now, it doesn't seem like it has, it's nothing to panic about. The best way to silence all that noise is to win football games, and that's exactly what the Eagles plan to do once he's back on the field. Now, flipping to the other side of the ball, Philly's defense is about to get some major reinforcements too. Nolan Smith is expected to return after missing several games with that triceps injury. That's huge, because before he went down, he was starting to find his groove as the top edge rusher on the roster. Last year, we saw what he could do down the stretch: relentless pressure, big plays in key moments, and a motor that never stops. Getting him back now, just as the pass rush is beginning to heat up again, could be exactly what the defense needs to reach another level. And it's not just Smith. Brandon Graham is set to make his season debut after missing time as well. Having his veteran presence and leadership back in that locker room means a lot. You can already picture it: Smith bringing the speed and explosiveness off the edge, Graham bringing the power and experience. That rotation could become lethal, especially when paired with the interior push they've been getting lately. Against the Giants, that defensive line looked as disruptive as it's been all year. You could feel the swagger coming back. So yeah, the defensive front is trending in the right direction. But there's still one big question hanging over this team. Will they make a move before the trade deadline? There's been a ton of speculation about that lately, especially around edge rushers and corners. A lot of insiders think it's just a matter of time before the Eagles pull the trigger on something. Adam Schefter even said he'd be surprised if they didn't make a move before the deadline hits. That's how active the front office has been behind the scenes. FlyEaglesFly News family, smash subscribe and hit like. Your support keeps the freshest Philadelphia Eagles updates flying in. Drop your take in the comments, and let's talk birds. Philadelphia, in what's being described as one of the most audacious moves in recent NFL memory, Howie Roseman has reportedly pulled off yet another blockbuster trade that has left fans and analysts alike scrambling for explanations. Sources close to the team suggest that the Philadelphia Eagles front office quietly finalized a deal that could reshape the landscape of the league, and ESPN couldn't keep up with the frenzy. The whispers started late last night, as insiders hinted that a major star could be on the move. By morning, the rumor mill was exploding. The Eagles, known for Roseman's bold maneuvers, are at it again, orchestrating a swap that combines high-profile talent with draft picks that could define the franchise's future for years. While the exact details remain closely guarded, speculation is rampant that the trade involves a mix of proven veterans and promising young players, enough to make rival teams sweat and sports analysts erupt in debate. Social media has been alight with reactions, ranging from sheer disbelief to ecstatic speculation. Roseman never fails to shock, tweeted one fan, while another declared, "This is either genius or madness." Either way, the league will never see it coming. ESPN anchors reportedly dedicated multiple segments dissecting potential outcomes, each more heated than the last. The chatter isn't just about who is coming or going. It's about the statement the Eagles are sending, that Philadelphia is still a powerhouse willing to gamble big in pursuit of glory. Even former players have chimed in, with cryptic comments hinting at the magnitude of the deal. Analysts are questioning how this move could shift team dynamics, quarterback chemistry, and even the balance of power in the NFC. One thing seems clear: wherever the pieces land, someone is going to wake up tomorrow with a dramatically different roster. If history is any guide, Howie Roseman's instincts are rarely wrong, and this latest maneuver may well go down as another masterstroke in a career already defined by audacious decisions. For now, Eagles fans can only speculate and watch, wide-eyed, as the ripple effects of this shocking trade echo across the league. That's a wrap from FlyEaglesFly News. If you want the fastest Eagles updates, subscribe, drop a like, and turn on the bell. Sound off in the comments. Let's talk birds.